Welcome back to Lemmings! It's now time to take on the ultimate difficulty of the game. We have 30 levels left, and they're in the Mayhem difficulty. So, here's level 1, Steelworks. So, honestly, this level isn't really a big puzzle in itself. It's more of like a test of skill. How good are you with the builder? Oh, also I just love this random touch at the beginning of the level. Let's just make the entrance of the level barely high enough so that your lemmings will die upon starting the level. And when I mean barely high enough, yeah, a single block is enough to make it so that your lemmings are gonna stop splatting. I mean, is this really necessary, game? This just seems like it was made out of spite for the player, because that is incredibly mean. But yeah, once you're past this little obstacle, the rest of the level is honestly pretty self-explanatory. It's all about building ramps so that you will reach the exit and allow all of your non-floaters to also survive the drops in order to get to the end. Also, yeah, you have 5 diggers just in order to be able to prematurely dig up ramps just in case you misclick and did builders wrong, or in order to not build too high in order to splat your lemmings. And it turns out that my ramp is too low, so alright, I guess we're gonna use some more builders in order to get all the way up here. Now, this level gives you 30 builders, which you're probably gonna think, okay, that's more than enough in order to beat this level, but don't get too cocky, because you can verily fail this level even though you have that many builders, because yeah, when it's the only skill that you use for the entire level and you have so many pits or shafts to climb through, yeah, you're gonna use them all. I mean, already the builders don't really build that high to begin with, so that final shaft is actually gonna be a problem, so we're gonna need a shitload of builders in order to be able to get through this. But yeah, as far as puzzles go, honestly, I think this level is definitely easier than the first level of taxing. But yeah, you need to remember to dig here in order to end your ramp prematurely, because otherwise I think your ramp is gonna be so high that your lemmings are gonna splat whenever they fall from it. So either you dig in order to end your ramp prematurely, or you just let your lemming collide against the right wall and turn back, and then you build another ramp in order to receive your lemmings. But once again, that requires builders that you may or may not have, so it's going to be a mystery as to whether it works or not. So yeah, we're about done, and we're in a situation where our lemmings cannot possibly die anymore, and since it's a long road, we might as well set everybody free. And yeah, let's hope that we actually make it, because we only have 4 builders left, and I think it's actually gonna come down to the wire here. Yeah, right here, my ramp is not actually covering up the sides successfully, so the lemmings are gonna fall off by going under the rock, just because it's 1 pixel big. And my blocker unfortunately failed to get the lemmings to climb on the higher thing, so yep, I've used up all of my builders, and yeah, the level is lost just because I just barely ran out. Yep, the 2 builders that I use, or yeah, even the 3 or the 4 that I use in order to fix up my fuck up at the beginning of the level was enough in order to fail the entire level, so we're gonna have to restart all the way back to the beginning in order to make it so that our ramp will come off correctly. And since this level mainly consists of busy work, honestly, it's not really that exciting to do, but it has to be done. But yeah, the one reason why I was scared to build a ramp at that one place was because, well, I probably would have ran the risk of just colliding with the little twig or whatever the hell is hanging on the steel block, and that will just cut my lemmings builder entirely. But honestly, I should have known better. Do not be scared of vegetation. Also, once again, we're going to build from much higher here. Last time I built too low, and that is something that definitely did not play in my favor. So my objective right now is going to get on that ledge over here. And now I think I'm gonna barely make it. Yep. And now we have a perfect shot at to getting at the top of this place without any kind of worries whatsoever. Also, I like that I replayed the level and I didn't even bother saving the one lemming that I killed at the beginning of the level just in order to show, hey, the entrance is too high, ho 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 ho, how funny we are. But yeah, look at that, this time it was a whole lot more smoother. We still had 6 builders after all of this, but yeah, you can definitely tell there's not that big of a margin for error, so while it's not a very difficult introduction level, don't get too cocky because this level can take you down just because of how lengthy it is. But yeah, in terms of puzzle, taxing level 1 was still harder than this level, as I've previously said, so I don't know, are we going for puzzles or are we going for just straight-on adventures or good skill execution? It's time to see where we're going. So yeah, this level is aptly fitting because it definitely is a boiler room. There's fire all the way down and there's fire in the way of the exit too, so okay, now I guess we have a puzzle because we have to figure out how to get to the exit by getting around the big fire jet that you see here, because no, you cannot build through it before you wonder, because it doesn't matter what the frame of animation is on the fire jet, as long as you're walking in that one line where the fire is, no matter if the flame is spouting or not, your lemmings are gonna fry, so going through here is totally out of question. Now this level might actually be really hard if you decided to start with Mayhem before going to taxing, because you probably wouldn't guess the solution right away, but because we played through the taxing difficulty, we now know what we have to do because we've had to do this in one of the last levels of the difficulty. Just recall level 27, Call in the Bomb Squad, where we had to bomb our way upwards in order to dig holes in the ceiling, so that's what we're gonna do. This bridge here is a really tiny bit of land, so that's where we're going. We're going to build all the way up as high as we can, and we're going to suicide this bomber, or this blocker here, just in order to have our hole, so that we'll be able to build through here. Considering the high amount of builders that you have here, honestly, this shouldn't be a problem to pull off. Honestly, I think that in level 27 taxing, it was harder to pull off because your supplies were much more constricted than this. With that said, however, if you didn't do this level beforehand, you probably will have a hard time figuring out what to do here, but yeah, with the proper knowledge, honestly, this level is kind of easy. So yeah, so far, I have yet to see where the Mayhem is. I mean, okay, it's kind of hard. I mean, you really wouldn't want to go there first because obviously you're not gonna have a single clue about what you're doing, but yeah, right now this is actually pretty straightforward so far, I gotta say. Yep, 2 levels in a row that didn't seem like to be a problem according to the developers. Have a gold star. Oh boy, okay, now this might actually be Mayhem. Yep, you see this timer here? Only 1 minute to do this, so yep, no time to lose. It's Good Evening Mr. Lemming again, level 23 of fun, the level that had a Japanese name, but yeah, we have 1 of everything, we have to save everybody, and we only have 1 minute, and yeah, by the way, we've already wasted 3 seconds for the hatch to open. So, okay, first order of affair, let's try and see if the solution that we use in the fun difficulty still works. I mean, it's 0 time, so we're just going to send in this 1 lemming in order to do all of the work. With that said, in regular lemming, that will be really problematic because, yeah, good luck clicking on the proper lemming in order to make him a builder and to avoid drowning in the acid. So yeah, the final step is to climb over the wall, float all the way down, and then dig before everybody else gets here. Now the question is, will we be able to do all of this on time? So alright, it's time to listen to the rush of silence while we're gonna hear a symphony of boing. Boing faster, holy shit! Yeah, what the hell? I didn't even have enough time in order to do this, so... Okay, what are we gonna do this time? Because I don't think that's how we're going to do it. So, yep, it's 0 time, it's a complete lie. So here's what you have to do actually in order to win. Yes, that is exactly what needs to be done. Good job, everybody. It's 0 time. Everybody is a hero. They've all died for a good cause. The cause of me being a jackass. Hell yes. Alright, so are we finally gonna get the proper solution this time? Yeah. You have to mine in order to make it so that only one lemming goes forward, and then you build whenever you're busy digging. Oops, except that I did not assign my builder to the basher, so... Yep, as a reward, you get all of those lemmings that drown in the air. So, yeah, that was kind of a shit show, but let's at least see if the time is now okay. Okay, now we're definitely making this on time, so... Yeah, whenever I'm assigning the builder to my basher inside the one-way wall, I probably should make sure that I actually assign the skill to the proper lemming this time. There's only one way to know it, and it's to just make it so that whenever you actually assign the skill, whenever you highlight the lemming, it says basher. And now we send the pseudo-trailblazer lemming in order to prepare the way for everybody. And here we go, that is how you truly manage to be a hero. Yeah, unfortunately you cannot use either the bomber or the blocker, because there's no real way to build or dig your way out of this situation. So here's to another level, that you have to save everybody, and yet the release rate is absolutely absurdly fast. Yep, it's lemmings everywhere, but yeah, this time we only have 10 bashers. You also have 10 bombers, but they're kind of a moot point because you have to save everybody. But if you played this level on the PC, you could use the bombers because you had to save less lemmings than that. I think it was 80% or something, but yeah, it was really dumb. So the puzzle element of this level is, how do you make your way down here when you can only dig horizontally? You have to look for the long stretches of the web where there's not other webs that are connecting to them, and you bash through them, and then you enter from the web sideways, and there you go, level done. This level definitely seems more intimidating than difficult, honestly. It seems hard, but honestly, when you play it and you figure out the solution, you'll be like, that's it? Yep, that's it. Alright, so down, along, up, in that order. Welcome back to level 28 of fun, if only they could fly. Yeah, last time we used all of our builders in order to get all the way up here, but yeah, you can't really do this anymore since you only have 5 builders. So, if we are to use 5 builders, that's probably the only way that we can go around in this one level. But yeah, you can already see a problem. Most of these ramps are starting from the void. We obviously cannot build in the sky now, can we? And finally, there's another problem. We're gonna have to use blockers in order to make the ramps go in the right direction, and that doesn't leave us any room in order to build the ramps, so... what the hell? What the hell indeed. So yeah, first thing first, we're just going to seal off this place in order to make it so that no lemmings are gonna fall in the lava whenever everybody will be on ground level. And we're gonna send our first lemming in order to start the wet work, or the build work, or whatever. At least the first ramp is the easiest one of the lot to build, because you don't really have anything, but... yeah, how are we going to proceed with the rest now? With that said, we're still gonna showcase the tactic that I demonstrated in my early briefing of this level, just in order to see what will happen. Is there something that is actually going to bail us out of this situation, or are we going to need to do something else altogether? Oops. Also, yeah, that probably will be one thing. Make sure that you assign your blockers properly whenever you just decide to do your stuff. I mean, I wanted to put my blocker as much closer to the edge as possible in order to have more room for building, so okay, let's see what happens if we build now, because... yeah, I might need a revelation in order to be able to make this work. But yeah, before we do this, yeah, we're just going to seal off more lemmings so that doing the ramp building is going to be a little bit easier, because later on it's gonna become really hard to build whenever all of your ramps are connected together. So yeah, What happens if you hit a blocker with a builder? Yeah, he turns directions! And yeah, that's like the one and only time in the whole game where you have to use this tactic. But here it is, that's how you do it. In fact, you probably remember about this tactic because I talked about it in level 8 of Tricky, so sorry for sounding like I didn't know what the hell was happening, but yeah, that's the audience interaction part of the LP. Let the audience figure out what the solution is before I pull them out. Because yeah, that's the first level that actually offers kind of a tricky solution. Oops. And we lost the one other person that was going, but that's okay because we're only gonna have one more ramp to build, so it's kind of a moot point. With that said, everybody has been successfully contained, and I'd rather that things have gone this way than any other way. So yeah, now you can kinda see why I didn't want to bring the entire horde of Lemming here, because trying to build diagonally with these really weird, sophisticated ramps that defy all logic is really hard when you have 78 Lemmings or so just walking like this all over each other without any kind of regard for your health, for your well-being or anything, while you're just trying to make your build, your ramps go in the right direction, more so considering that you have to pretty much have all 5 of your ramps go the right way, otherwise you fail. Yeah, this level can be really ruthless and unforgiving, and I'm really surprised that I didn't need replays in order to be able to even beat it in the first place. Alright, with that said, it's time to call it an update because, yeah, for Mayhem, since most of the level are gonna take longer to solve because it's gonna get much harder, trust me, we're going to keep things simple and we're only gonna feature 5 levels per update, just in order to keep things going on into a bitely fashion. So, stay tuned for the next update where we play more Mayhem levels.